going to dance. We're going to dance. We're going to dance and have some fun, fun, fun,
Dig.
I'm in the groove, take time. I'm in the groove, take time. I'm in the groove, take time. Do it all the time. No excuses and no blame. Stepping up my game. I'm a groove, yes I am. You do I know I can. Leave my master plan. I'm grooving, yes I am. I'm grooving. Oh, I'm grooving. I'm grooving, yes I am. I'm grooving. I'm moving inside, I'm moving. I'm moving inside, I'm moving. I'm moving inside. You make me inspire me. From loose and free, I'm back to my dream. Working at the scene, I'm feeling you listen. You know who I am. Now is my time to have a I'm moving inside and I'm moving. I'm moving inside and I'm moving. I'm moving inside and I'm
Come on, y'all. Y'all are crazy, man.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to day 2 of Groove Asia's 5-day challenge. My name is Karen Allen. I'm the Chief Program Officer here at Groove Asia, and we'd like to welcome you here. This is day 2 again. We're going to be talking about making your websites that wow and getting into Groove Pages. That's what we're diving in for these 5 days, well, for the next 4 days right now. And our trainer here today is none other than Nick Lacani. But before I tell you a little bit about Nick, if you are watching live, put in live in the chat box or in the comment box. And if you're watching the replay, put in hashtag replay. So hashtag live or hashtag replay. And so comment in the comment box. And we want to have your engagement during this time. Now, if you have any questions that Nick's not able to answer at this time, you can always go to our Facebook group and ask the questions there. Now, our trainer today is none other than Nick Lacani. He is the dynamic force revolutionizing online education. Now, as the Toastmaster of the Year, he led the digital transformation of Toastmasters International in the UK and Ireland during the COVID pandemic. And with a background as a successful college lecturer, trainer, and technical director, Nick now passionately guides entrepreneurs to systematize their businesses for online success. Now, in 2024, this year, he aims to offer effective training courses here at Groove Asia. So he's going to be shaping attendees' journeys towards financial freedom. And that is what Groove Asia is all about. And we're all doing this together. So join me as put your hands together, say a hello or a whoop whoop in the chat box as Nick comes on for an energetic and authoritative approach to your success. Come on stage, Nick. Glad to have you here.
Thank you, Karen. Welcome, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. Day 2. I hope day 1 was good for you. I've got a lot of emails and I've got a few questions that I want to quickly answer, which I did on the day by email. But there's 1 or 2 things that I think I'll share with the whole class. All right. Now, welcome to my humble abode. And one of the things that we want to do today is to learn more about GroovePages and how to create websites. Okay. Now, one of the things I want to do, let me just share this with you. This is what we did yesterday, right? We did some basics on here, and these are the things that we learned yesterday to navigate the dashboard and to be able to create a one-page website. Yeah, remember the brand identity website that we did? To be able to add a custom domain, and I'm going to talk more about that in a few minutes. To be able to add text, logo, basic formatting, and again, I'm going to mention that to you as well. And also to save and publish a website. We did that yesterday. So I hope all of you did some homework and actually got a website up and published. Hands up who did? Okay, that's great, class. Well done. Thank you. Now, in terms of what we want for a recap, let's just talk about a couple of things here, shall we? One of the things that I wanted to do was to show you a couple of issues that one or two of you have been having. We talked about adding domains, right? Custom domains. And so this caused a little bit of confusion. Therefore, I've decided I'm going to do it again. And I'm just going to accentuate or identify one or two parts that a couple of you are having difficulty with, okay? Now, let me share my screen on here. As you can see, this is the Groove console, the Groove platform. And here I'm going to go to the top right-hand corner where my logo is, settings and billing, and go to domains and custom domains. It's already highlighted. Remember, it's got the red line around it. Click on manage. And these are some of the domains that I have. These are the domains I have on this particular account. Remember, yesterday we added gemevents.com. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to add another domain. Therefore, I'm going to click on, if it lets me, add a domain. Remember, it's full domain. Now, here, there's one very important thing that I want to talk about just briefly. Just bear with me 1 second. Where it says full domain, it's for a new domain that hasn't been used anywhere else before. Now, if it has been used elsewhere before, for example, for a WordPress website, and you're blowing that away and you're not, there's nothing there to protect as data, then this is what you do as well. It's like a brand new full domain setup. Now, if you already have certain parts of the domain doing certain things elsewhere, then you would use legacy domain, but that is more intricate and complicated, and that's not what we're covering here today. I'm assuming you've got a clean domain or brand new domain that wherever it was before, if it was anywhere, we're happy to blow it away and we don't want to deal with that. Okay? Let's go back to our screen. Full domain, next. And which domain would you like to add? Here, this is one of my domains, tech-led-growth.com. And then next. Now, it says it's added the domain successfully, and it's given me two name servers. Remember, we need to make a note of these, Dora and Major. So I'm going to click on the clipboard for both of them. And here, I'm going to go to Namecheap. Remember, I use Namecheap, and one of the things I've got here is, guess what? Tech-led growth. Right here. Imagine I've just bought it. Let's go to Manage. And along here, it's got name servers. Can you see that? Name servers. And it's got the basic DNS. We don't want that. We want custom DNS, which is the first one. If I press the Windows key and the V button, it gives me the last number of items that I've gone and copied to my clipboard. So I'm going to choose Dora and then Major. Green tick to save it. That's the only thing I need to do for the domain in Namecheap. All right. Now, let's go back to our console. And we want to say, right, click on Next, Validate. And this probably takes some time. Look, it comes up with a yellow box here, and try again in 1 hour. Well, we know it's going to take a little bit less than that, hopefully. let's go to complete process, and here let's verify domain again. It probably won't work anyway. Let's try it again. And you see the yellow box comes up again. That's fine. That's okay. We're going to come back to this in a few minutes. All right. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, and which a couple of people had difficulty with, is to do with editing the website or editing text. So let's go back to the website that I did yesterday, brand website, as you can see. Manage. Now, remember what I taught you was, depending on what you highlight or select, a little red line will come around that particular item or the box. All right, I'm going to talk more about that today, actually, with the elements and the blocks and the containers. Now, in this case, you can see that you can highlight on some text, highlight it, either a word or the whole paragraph, and then start typing in. This is a test, like that. That's it. Now, over here, there was one particular example somebody sent me. They had difficulty with the bullet points here. One of the things to look at is if you click on between the bullet point and the text, it comes up with the box all around both the bullet point and the text. But if you just click on the text, it's just got a box around the text. Okay? Now, later on, I'm going to show you. In fact, in a few minutes, I'm going to show you. But look, bottom left-hand corner, these are the breadcrumbs. I'll explain what that is. But look, best thing to do is, if you want to copy or if you want to actually go and amend these or to duplicate them, the best way to do it is do it so that the icon is selected. This button here to copy. And look, you can have as many as you want, as many bullet points as you want. And if, for example, one thing goes wrong, okay, no problem. For example, somebody could have just deleted this by accident. And it says, are you sure? Okay, so it's going to be challenging to get that one back in the right place. And it's a little bit fiddly. But look, here's one we made earlier. And then just go ahead and just amend as necessary. Okay, so don't spend too much time on this. Just be simple and clear. And then if you need to recreate it, it's easy to do so. All right. So now on here, let's go back to settings and billing, domains, manage, and click to verify domain, cross your fingers, validate DNS, and it's still working away. Okay, fair enough. Right. But you get the idea. I'll tell you what, here's one where we made earlier, right? Gem events yesterday. If I go to, you know how I did this. Have a look at yesterday's video. You know how I did this. Click on DNS. Now, this is one thing I didn't do yesterday. There are no DNS records because we didn't put any in. There's nothing in there. All right. The only reason why something would be in there, let me just come back to you. The only reason to go and change DNS records is if you already have an email, email that is coming into the that domain. For example, Google Workspace, and I'll show you an example of that in a minute. Or you're doing something whereby you have to verify that you own the domain, and therefore you're asked to add a record. So that could be on a number of different things. Okay. But out of the box, when you're doing it first, you don't necessarily need to go into DNS at all. Don't be confused by that. All right. Now, let's just go through here. One last point about the DNS is if I go to nicklakhani.com and go to the DNS, on here, you'll see a number of different records on here because, look, I've got Google Workspace. And so the first 5 or 6 are related to that, plus other things related to subdomains that I have on there as well. All right. So let me do last chance. Let's validate. Okay, there you go. Successfully verified. Now, this is important. Choose primary app. Click on the red button. GroovePages. Red tick. That's it. So now this icon is blue and white, and these are not lit up at all. That's fine. That's exactly what we're looking for. Job done. All right. Now, what do we want to look for today? One of the things that we want to look for today is to create a website like we did yesterday, but this time to make it multiple pages. Therefore, let's have a look. Today, crafting a multi-page marvel. Thank you very much for the title, Karen. And on the agenda today, we've done the recap, Q&A from the GrooveAsia Facebook. Let me just do one thing for you folks. And what this is, I'm going to show you our Facebook page on here. And in our Facebook page, GrooveAsia CM, there's an event which is for the 22nd of, on my date, it's 22nd. On yours, it may be 23rd, depending on your location. And on here, we have an event. I've put an agenda here, the one that you saw on the screen a minute ago. And after the live stream is finished, if you have any questions, or if your question wasn't answered in the live stream, please write it in here, and I will endeavor to get back to you before tomorrow's session. All right? So put your question in there, and I will answer it. Brilliant. Thanks very much for that. And Karen will put links to the Facebook group on there. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to plan and create a multi-page website. And I'm going to show you the differences between what we did yesterday and what we're going to do today. And also, then we're going to navigate pages that we created for this multi-page website. We've got another 2 or 3 items in there as well. So let's just crack on with these 2 things, shall we? Now, what we want to do is go to our Groove CM. We want to go to GroovePages. I don't want to save that. And just like yesterday, we're going to create a new site. And instead of yesterday we did single pages, didn't we? Remember? Today, we're going to go to complete sites. And over here, there's lots of sites there's a few sites in there. But I want to type in agency. And one of the templates on here is digital agency website, right here at the bottom. Can you see that? Click on that once, and you can look at it in terms of a live preview. All right, have a look at that. It opens up a brand new tab, and this is what the home page looks like. Isn't that good? That's nice, all right? Now, the menus and things won't work on here, but it gives you an idea of what the layout is, all right? So let me close that. Now, you can have a look at these, and it's got different pages. Look, different things on here. Now, you can select one or more of these pages and then just say import selected pages. Or what I'm going to do is to say select all or import full template. So I'm going to click on import full template. It's going to import all of the 6 pages. And what name is it? And I'm going to call it the multi-page 5-day challenge. And start building. Again, after a few seconds or a minute or so, you're going to see in the page builder this particular website. Now, how do I know that? Well, I can see that that's the home page there, right? So I'm scrolling up and down. But how do I know all the other pages are there? Do you remember? Well, on the left-hand side, the toolbar, pages, and look, there's 6 pages right there. And we can go to any of them by clicking on it. And there you go. That's the About page. Let's look at the Contact page. Are we good? Are we happy with that? Remember, it's red because it's not been changed or published. So I'm going to go to Home. And that's great. That's what we're going to do on there. Now, let me explain a little bit about the pages and what you should do to plan them. One of the things I said yesterday about creating a one-page website was it's quick. It's also kind of like an overview brand website for your own personal use, right? For you as a person, not necessarily your business. That's great. It also has, for those people who know that their clientele or their ideal customer doesn't really want to click and look at lots of different pages and read lots of things. They want to go and on their mobile phone and just scroll up and up and up and up and up and just get the main points. And it may be, for example, you're selling something, you're selling a service or a product that is very easy to sell or very quick, very cheap. Maybe people just want to go, yes, 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 done, and then just press a button to go to the checkout. Okay, so it's very quick, very, very easy. Why would you want a multi-page website? Well, it could be that what you're selling in terms of a service or a product, or even it could be a brand website, you've got a lot more depth in there. You've got a lot more information. You've got information that you don't want all on one page because it takes longer to load on a mobile device, for example, or a computer. So that way, you want to think about your website and think about personally who your ideal client is, what do they do, where they hang out, where do they get their information from, what devices do they use. Now, I've got kids, so somebody in that who's 20, 21, 22 are more likely to get information from their mobile phone. Somebody who's 70 is probably less likely to do that. Okay, so have a think about that when you're planning your website out. And talking about planning, one of the things I'm going to do is show you what I would normally do in terms of planning, and what I recommend you to do. Therefore, if I show you this screen here, remember I showed you this page yesterday, the brand template, and basically it's like just having post-it notes on your screen. And so this one here, which says it's a world-class expert, well, let's have it above here and let's move this one down. And yeah, that's one page though. One page. What happens when you need to plan out a whole website with multiple pages on it? Well, first thing I normally do is I'm very visual, by the way, as you can guess. So we're going to, and for the rest of the week, by the way, I'm going to create a website called Clear Tech Guys, and I'm going to publish it. And then we're going to make changes to it. I'm going to show you little tips and tricks to help you create and maintain your multiple page website. And it's going to have a structure along the lines of something like this. Now, for each of these pages, I would have a corresponding section like this as to what bits of information are going on each page. Is that clear? Good. Also, on that website, on the home page, we're going to have a disclaimer, privacy policy in terms of business on there as well. And I'm going to show you how to do that on Friday. Now, are we good with that? Are we good with that? If you want to take a screenshot, that's well and good. But you can draw this on a piece of paper, can't you? You don't need a piece of software the software that I use. You can put it on anything. You can put it on PowerPoint or Google Slides or Word, Microsoft Word or Google Sheets, or even Google Docs. It's easy, but just get a layout here, because that way you're creating a plan and then working towards it. Whether it's written down or whether it's visually like this, create the plan. It's very important. And for each page, what are you trying to achieve? What's the call to action? The mindset is the most important thing. This week, I'm teaching you how to do the actual technology, okay? But the mindset is very important. Therefore, this is what I'm going to be aiming for, something like this. Therefore, let's go back to our console. And what I'm going to do is I want to talk to you about navigating. Actually, before I do that, Karen, do we have any questions? I see things popping up on my screen. No? Okay. All right.
No.
No problem. No problem. Okay, no problem. Thank you
Not
very
yet.
much, Karen. Okay. Now, if you've got any questions, please put them into the chat, into YouTube. Believe we may have an issue right now with Facebook, but that's fine. Now, what we're going to do is, again, I'm going to show you how to move around this console and how to manage the pages, for example, the assets. Therefore, remember we did this yesterday? We saw this button here for the different apps, the same as in this for this button here as well. Yes? This one here shows you what this website will look like on a mobile phone, and then a tablet, a laptop, and a PC. Okay? Now, somebody said, hey, what if I, do something wrong and I, do something wrong like this, type in the wrong word or make a wrong action? Now, before you save it, what you can do is to undo what you've just done. Sometimes it's not possible, especially after you save it, it's pretty much gone. But there are different ways. And again, over the next couple of days, I'll show you different tips and tricks on how to save your pages or so on. Now, in this case, though, I want to look at the number of pages. I've already showed you that, haven't I? The number of pages, home, about, services, etc., etc. Now, have a look at this. These 6 pages are on the menu right here, aren't they? Or at least 5 of them are. That's interesting. Now, why is the 6th one not on there? Do you remember what it was? Well, it's actually to do with the blog. Well, let's have a look. See the blog page template? Now, if I go to this is a menu, and if I've clicked on it, look, it's got the red box all around it, gear icon, and okay, let's just click on the X there. All right, so let's go to this one. The one it's a wider icon on. Right, okay, so this is not. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, so pages to exclude, blog page template. So there may be a reason for you not to include blog page template. I don't know what that is. Also, you can add external links. So for example, if I say, yes, I want to add a link, label for link number 1, and sometimes it disappears, so press the gear icon again, 1 link, and here I want to call it Facebook. And what is the link to it? Is it onto a different page or a block on the same page? Or in this case, it's a URL. So here it would be something like https facebook.com and then / and then your particular Facebook page that you want to direct people to. And also tick on this box saying open it in a new tab. Brilliant. Happy with that. And then red tick to save it. Now, what happens is, can you see it comes up with Facebook on there? Fabulous. Notice also this particular menu bar has actually got a button which says book a free call. And again, we're going to look at buttons on probably Wednesday or Thursday, I believe. And but let's just have a quick look. If I click on it and then gear button, link to what? Well, you can link it to a page or a block or any of these items. So you can make it do something. In this case, we're just not going to do anything with it. But you get the idea. You can control what's on this particular menu bar. Another way to control what's on there and what's visible is if I go to pages and if I say that the about page, I want to make it hidden. I can just go to the dots below next to the about page and bring it down to the bottom here, right there. Now, that disappears off the menu. Let's go back to the home page again. Okay, so the about page has disappeared on there. You see that? Another thing you can do is imagine you want below services, you want to put contact and case studies. Well, you can go to contact and just put it further up to services and then let go, it automatically moves a little bit to the right-hand side. Can you see that? And look, it's like a menu system. It's like when you click on it, it'll come up with contact on there. Same with case study. Move it along here, and it moves across. Isn't that great? Obviously, one of the things I showed you first yesterday was how to change the logo on here, and you know how to do that, right? So you get the idea. You can actually manage the pages and make them do different things according to this particular item here. Okay. Now then, one of the things that I also want to do is, and obviously you can rename, you can reorder the pages on here as well. So, for example, if I want, okay, let's just move contact out here again, and let's move that out here again. So, if I want contact to be below case studies, and I just do that, so contact is after case studies. So this controls the order in which it gets shown here as well. All right. Now, thinking about blocks, containers, and elements. Therefore, on here, remember I said yesterday, if I click on the edge, it shows me a block. How do I know it's a block? Well, you got two big red boxes with white crosses in them. Also, on the bottom left-hand corner, you've got body and then block. Now, the bottom left-hand corner is called a breadcrumbs. These are called breadcrumbs. Now, let me tell you a little story. The breadcrumbs enables you, not just through the menu, but on the console where you actually designing your web page, it enables you to find out where you are. Now, the way it originates from, why it's called breadcrumbs, is apparently, I have been informed, that it's after one of the fairy tales of Hansel and Gretel, and where the children placed breadcrumbs on the ground so that they were lost, but at least they could find their way back. Right? So there you go, a little bit of trivia there. But remember that word breadcrumbs, because on the bottom left-hand corner, it will always tell you what item you have selected. Okay? So now then, looking at these blocks and containers and so on, I want to do a little bit of theory with you very quickly. Again, I can describe things to you, but it's better if I actually show you in terms of the graphics. Okay, therefore, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you a particular page. And on this particular page, I'm going to talk about blocks, containers, and elements. Can you see that? Very simple. All I want to do is to enable you to show you, I hope that's clear on there, that this item with the red box is called a block. All right. And then the container is in yellow. So containers go inside blocks. And also then elements go inside containers. Things like text, image, video, buttons, and menu bars, etc. Okay, can you see that? That's the kind of structure. So therefore, you can't just have a block and then put in some elements. Now, this doesn't make very much sense to you right now. All right, let me explain in real life the way you're going to be using it. Here, we're going to add a block. And what you're going to do is we're going to put a block between the header and the hero section. I'm going to click on the plus sign right here. And what we can do is we can go to empty block, and we can actually put in these differently formatted containers. Or blocks rather, with different containers in them. Some of them have got different size of containers in them. Can you see that? In this case, we're going to choose this one, which has got two containers, like a two-column block. Just click on it once. Okay, so that there is a block. These two items are, as it says, empty containers. What do you do now, Nick? Let me see. I guess we need to put some sort of other container or object or element in there. Now, this is where, if you go to this button here, Elements, and click on Elements, and can you see on here that we've got Media? Media, right there. Image. Now click and drag this, and can you see there's a red line depending on where the object is? So where you want the object to go, make sure the red line is on that particular point, and then let go. And then close this. That's great. That's a picture. Well, I want text in there. All right, Nick. Let's go to Elements, and let's go down, Text, and I want a H1 title. Do it for SEO. There you go. And there's going to be heading in there. Now, the first thing you'll tell me is, Nick, that's not a very big title, is it? But that's, if I double click on that word, it tells you it's a heading 1. This is useful because of SEO. It's important for you to have, on any given page, you should only have one heading 1. Then you can have a number, not too many, but still a number of heading 2s, and then heading 3s, and so on. Now, if you want to know more about SEO and so on, check out Simon Leong. Fabulous courses. We've got, I don't know whether, Karen, you can put something into the chat. He has got a course coming up, though, next week. Maybe you can put that as well as Simon Leong's AI SEO course. Anyway, if you want to know more about SEO, that's what I recommend. It's fabulous. Now, in this case, though, this is denoted by, not by the size, like in, for example, in Microsoft Word, but it's the stature or the status of this particular block, which, for example, search engines like Google will read and will look for headings, and then it will read what you've written there. And hopefully you've got a title which makes it, which helps the Google to tell it what you actually are showing on this particular web page. So if I put on here 5 fabulous tips to systemize your business, I better put it the American way, hadn't I? And then what I can do is to change the size of it. Remember how to change the size of it? T, and then you can actually type in the size or use a slider to make it bigger or smaller. How is that? How does that work for you? If you want to make it centered, press that button there. Weight, you can make it bold. How fabulous is that? Does that look better? Yeah, absolutely. Now, let's go back to the picture here, and a little gear icon. It doesn't have an image, but you have the capability of adding an image. Click on Choose, find an image that you like. So in this case, I'm going to put this young lady on here. Now, if I click on this 3 dots here, and then click on the crop button here, now on here, we can actually see that it's 4,000 pixels wide and high. That is a lot for a web page. Normally, what I would do is I would probably make it something like 800 wide, something like that. I'm happy with that. And you notice that the height changes automatically as well. And crop and select. And then crop and select. I'm happy with that. Update and close. Now, what you've done is you've gone and inserted text and a picture. Fabulous. Well, would it be helpful if I showed you? I mean, and this is one of the things I wanted to show you, was that you can create your own blocks like this. But would it be a good idea if I showed you how to do it quicker and to save you a lot of time formatting the blocks? Would that be a good idea? Type it into the chat, yes or no. Would it be a good idea, yes or no? Let's see if anything comes through. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to now, below this, I'm going to add a different block. And in this case, what I want to do is, you see the types here. These are the pre-formatted blocks. I showed you this yesterday. Designer, modern, wireframe. Now let's go to modern. I love some of this. And here, I like this. It stands out, doesn't it? So now don't worry about the colors. Don't worry about the actual text. You can change the text. I want you to think about what items, i.e. picture, text, video, etc., that are on there that you can actually use for your own needs. And then you can also edit it afterwards as well. Therefore, what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose this one here. Now, you notice that took about 3 seconds to choose it and pop it in, whereas this was this was going to go and take me a few minutes to actually get sorted out, right? Therefore, I want you to tell me which is easier and quicker. The pre-formatted ones, right? Whilst you're a new beginner, my absolute recommendation and suggestion is, don't try and do things from scratch. Find a pre-formatted item or a block or an element and pop it in there. Then make changes to that. Okay? Because if you get bogged down with the minutiae of looking at spacings in between text and margins and making the picture just right and so on, you're going to spend 17 and a half weeks doing that. I don't think that's the best use of time, especially if you're a beginner. You want to get up and running. You start trying to start your business. Make sure it's you can just allow yourself, give yourself the permission to start messy. It's okay if it's not perfect. The most important thing is the words and the pictures, the messaging that you put there for the people that you want to target, and then spend time to market it. Think about your business plan and your marketing plan. Think about how you're going to get this message, this website, or for example, a Facebook post or whatever it is you're creating, in front of those people who are likely going to like what you're selling, whether it be goods or services. Don't waste time trying to be a website designer. It's good to have these skills, but focus on what's important. Get your message into the hands of the people who are likely to buy from you. And if it doesn't work, it's okay. At least you've tried it. Then now go to plan B and then change something. Business is not about any kind of certainties. It's about having a good plan, having a good marketing plan, testing, getting data back, and then revising your plan accordingly, and then retesting. That's why, rather than this block I've created here, because I still haven't added in other blocks and so on, so it's going to take me a while. This one here, I can do something with. Notice it's got features in there. It makes it look good. It's got the circle there. It's got a picture in the background. Now those I'm going to show you how to do tomorrow. Okay. It's got things on here, things like the text with different colors. You've got a form here where you can actually type in your email address and submit. That we're probably going to cover at the next 5-day challenge. All right. Now you get the idea. Let me see if I can find a couple of good ones on here. So let's go to here. I like the modern one. Well, actually, modern one is good for the first block. Now, in this case, though, let's go to designer. One of the things that I like to do is to sell courses. Well, oh, here's one I made earlier. Look, can you see that? Does that look good? Okay, well, I don't like the background color. No problem. I'll show you how to change it. You click on it, and you come to this button, background here, and there's the color. Change it. Oh, I tell you what, let's make a nice bright red. Yeah, not good, Nick. That's a bit too bright. Well, I know. Let's make it transparent. You see this transparency? Instead of 100%, you can make it lighter. Can you see that? And you can do a number of things on there. Keep the time. Okay, we've got a very good question here. Let's have a look. We've got a question from Jennifer. How can you add different pre-formatted blocks and keep the type or the font the same throughout? The easiest way to do it, Jennifer, is to put the blocks in, get the contents right, and then what you can do is you can then change the layout or the way it looks a little bit more. And if they are different fonts, decide which font you're going with, and then go and make that change. And it's fairly easy to do. It's a lot easier to do than to do it from scratch, as I've just mentioned. I hope that's clear. All right.
Nick, excuse me, we do have a couple of questions, so if you want to leave
Okay.
some
Yeah, sure.
amount of time at the end, that would be great.
Okay, no problem. Now, one of the things I wanted to show you on here is, again, let's dig deep a little bit more. Let's look at this item on here. Let's look at this button here. Have a look at the breadcrumbs at the bottom. Now, I'm sorry if this is not clear. And I will, I don't know whether this will show you. There you go. Look, I've got the Start Learning button highlighted. And this is the breadcrumbs. Look, all the way along. So it's a button which is inside a container, which is inside a 2-2 layout, which is inside a container, another container, another container, a 3-3-3 layout, a container, block, body. Right. Remember what we said, Hansel and Gretel. The children won't get lost if they put breadcrumbs on the floor. You won't get lost because you know exactly which button or which item you've got selected here. And so there are times when this is very, very important when you're designing this. Okay? So that's very much important in terms of the breadcrumbs. Now, do you understand a little bit more about the blocks and the containers and elements? So let me just go back to here. Now, what we have here is in the red line, it's a block. We know it's a block because it's got the square button with the crosses in. This here is text which is inside a container. So it's an element inside a container. Okay? And so, for example, this picture here is an image inside, again, it's layered. That's the idea you need to take away. It's layered. Now, imagine, the one last thing about this is, imagine if you manually created this particular block. How long would it take you? That's the question. Okay? Therefore, it's important that you look at blocks and you look at these pre-formatted blocks and think about not what the block actually looks like. Think about the items or the type of objects or the type of elements that it has on there and say, hey, that looks something like what I'm looking for. Then you can go and edit something which is already done and then only have to make a few changes. All right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of things on here about a header and footer. And then we're going to take some questions. Now, do you remember this one here where we've got the a block which has got this navigation bar on it? Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is to have a block, and in this case, we're going to go to on the left-hand side here. We're not. It's not none of these items here. It's under category, and it is navigation bar. And under navigation bar, you could pick a number of navigation bars. Okay. Why don't we pick something like this one here in blue? So you can see it, see how it stands out. Now, they've got a similar logo, that's fine. And it looks similar, doesn't it? But it doesn't have the button on there, that's fine. Now, imagine that I'm happy with that, and I'm going to have that as a blue header on mine. In fact, I'm going to highlight this. Let me get rid of this particular block. Okay. And I want to make changes to this. Well, tell you what we're going to do. The background, I want to change and make it a little bit green, a little bit darker green, maybe. And something like that. Okay. So I'm going to make it something like that. Okay. And also that background there, I want to change it. And notice it actually remembers the recent colors that you've used. So let's choose, oh, not that one. All right, maybe not that one. Okay. Okay, you get the idea. I'll have to find the right one there in a minute. Okay, but look, if I'm happy with that header, and remember, we can make changes to it, right? Let's get rid of this particular page and then delete it. There's a little bin button there. Are you sure? Yes, confirm. Right, I'm happy with that. Have I changed the header for every page on this website? Well, let's have a look. Save. And let's go to another page. Let's go to services. No. Let's go back to home. Now, one thing that I wanted to actually be very clear upon is you don't have to create a brand new header for each page. And I am going to show you how to do that tomorrow. So this particular header that I've created with the navigation bar in, with the logo in it, tomorrow I'm going to show you how to actually apply it to every other page. And then if you make one change to it, it will be automatically reflected on the rest of the website. Is that a deal? Make sure you actually do the practice today, things that you've learned, and then tomorrow I'll go through that with you. That's called global blocks. But in this case, we're just going to look at the header. And we've played around with the header already, haven't we? Where we've changed the way it looks, we've hidden pages and so on. Now, one last thing I'm going to do is to show you how to add a footer. And look, there's one there already. That looks fine. Let me just add another one here. Again, let's go to navigation bar. And in this case, let's go to footer rather. And in this case, we're going to choose something along the lines of this. Okay. And there you go. Very simple on there. Now, I'm going to leave this as it is because really, I'm not really happy with that. I like this one actually. But you get the idea that I could get rid of this one and now you've replaced it. Now you can make changes to this and add things on here. Okay, so these are the headers and footers. What things go on headers and footers? Well, the things that go on headers and on the header, normally it's a logo, it's menu items like pages, for example, or links to parts of the website or away from the website, and even buttons that things like sign up for my webinar, go to our e-commerce store, etc. On the footer, it may be information. You may have a logo on it, but it may be information like links to pages, links to social media, links like to our privacy page, our terms of service page, etc. There's a number of things that we can put on there. Those are the things that we put on that we can put up. Therefore, what I want you to do today is I want you to be comfortable in adding a custom domain, create a multi-page website from one of the templates, use the one I chose, it's easier, and then put a different header and footer in there. And put in a pre-formatted block in there with information in it. Start making it yours. Now, that's only on the homepage though. And then over the next few days, we're going to work on it so that we make your website more manageable, and we're going to make it more effective in terms of the time that you use to make changes, like, for example, using global blocks. All right? Now, Karen, what questions do you have today?
Okay, we do have a couple of questions here, quite a bit. From JJ, if you're setting up a blog, is it best to use a single or multi-page?
A blog?
Yes.
Yeah, so what happens is with Groove, you actually have a separate element which is called a Groove blog, and that is separate. Now, in that, if I just show you one, okay, so
Yeah, quite a bit.
basically, don't put it all on one page, and there's a couple of reasons for that. The page is going to get very, very, very long, and it will take time to load on somebody's mobile phone or device. Secondly, you want to actually share your blog, each individual blog, and put SEO on it in terms of the title, the headings, etc., to be found easily so that people come back to your website, and therefore to gain the benefits of organic SEO, right? So you have it as a single entity, a single page with a single H1 header. And I'm going to go over this more in the Groove Blog 5-day challenge, which is going to be in a number of months' time. But yeah, absolutely, a blog shouldn't just be a good a big toilet roll. Yeah, that's
Right.
not great.
Well, our next question is from Johan. He says, "Is the DNS page where you add your Namecheap private email settings?"
Brilliant. Thanks very much for that question, Johan. Absolutely. Namecheap is very good. So I've been using it for over a year now. I love it because they've got good support. Now, one of the things they have is they have a PDF or a page where they say, these are the settings you need to change. And then you go through them and then make those changes. And the DNS page that I showed you on one of my domains, it's similar to that. Not exactly the same, but you have to make sure that you're very thorough in doing it step by step. Okay? But yes, the DNS page on the Groove domain page is where you want to do that.
Okay, great. And Lauren says, "Why wouldn't you just hide? Why wouldn't you just hide the blog page template? Why exclude it? What's the difference?"
No, it depends on what you're trying to do. That's all. It was just an example of how you can hide things or how you can move things around. For example, when I show you how to create a page with your privacy policy on, I don't want it to go on the menu at the top. I'm going to show you how to hide it, but then make a link appear on the footer. Okay? So it's
Okay.
part of the design of the website. We didn't cover that today, but over the week you'll build up your knowledge on that. Okay?
Okay, great. And here is, change my screen. If a domain name has been only used for a YouTube channel, which option to select to set up a domain name?
Right. Thanks very much.
Legacy
Okay. Thanks. Thanks very much for the
from
question
Peter.
there, Peter. Right. For the YouTube channel, you haven't used your domain name. You've used a Google account or your Google account. So you've not actually used your domain name. So that doesn't interfere with the website that you create. Now, if, for
Oh,
example, you've got Google Workspace, like I have, then you have business email coming in. That's different. That's where you, for example, I would actually do a full standard install on the domain, but then you need to go to DNS and then put the settings in there that Google Mail tell you to put in, if that's the question. If that's not, then put something in the Facebook page, and I'll converse with you offline. Okay.
Okay, so apart from buying a domain name from Namecheap, what else needs to be purchased?
It depends what you're trying to do, Peter. What else do you want to do? To be fair, look, you can get a domain name from Namecheap. You can buy email boxes from Namecheap. You can buy other stuff from from Namecheap. You can buy other stuff to help you to post your social media or to create your videos. Or there's a whole number of things that you can purchase. It depends on what you're trying to achieve. Sorry to
Okay,
be uh,
a
irreverent
lot you
about
can
that.
do. Well, how can you add different pre-formatted blocks, but keep the type and font the same
Yeah,
throughout?
yeah, that's the question I answered during the session.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so basically, make sure you put the structures in that you want, and then change the colors, change the text, change the fonts and the pictures and anything else. But the really important thing is the structure of having a picture here, text here, button here, video here, that kind of thing. That's the most important thing, because that's the most time consuming thing, and it will save you that time. Okay.
Okay, I
Um,
don't know if you answer this, Nick, or not, but can you
I
change just
didn't.
the whole background of an entire website instead of going block to block to block?
Right. If you want one particular background, then start off with a page. Once you're happy with the layout and everything and the colors, what you can do is you can either duplicate the page and then edit each page as you go. But the other thing you can do is to create a global block, which I'm going to show you how to do tomorrow, which has got the right background in there, etc. And then you can just put that in whenever you want to. There's 2 or 3 ways to do it. Okay.
All
Any
right,
more questions?
and we're winding down here, but we do have one from JJ again. How can you remove the domain from another app to add to Groove page?
Right. If the question is that you have, for example, a WordPress website that you don't want to keep, then you go to your domain registrar and change the name service to Groove, like I showed you earlier on. That means that your WordPress website will no longer be found. Now, if the question is something else, please be specific. I there's a number of different ways that I can read that, and but go to our Facebook page and ask a specific question. I promise I'll answer. Is that okay, JJ?
All right. Well, I think that is all that we have today. We've got a couple of thank yous, and Seon is here. So, all right, that's live. Remember, everyone, this is can be seen on the replay.
Thanks very much, everybody. Thanks very much, Karen. Thanks for being my wonderful PD. Do your homework, watch the replay, ask questions, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Take it away, Karen.
Sure. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us yet again as we wind down this day 2 of the Groove Pages of the 5-day challenge. So we can't wait to see you for day 3. I know Nick has given you some homework. So if you have not started, get started on that. If you need to see the replay for day 1, you can definitely go to the YouTube channel and watch it there. And it's also in our Facebook group. To see what we have coming up, you can always go to grooveasia.cm/resources, and I'm going to put that here on the screen so you can go to it. That is grooveasia.cm/resources. You could click on the calendar tab. We have a host of events that's coming up this weekend and next week. We actually have a Make Your First Dollar Online, which is going to be near the end of the month. Make sure you register for that. We have the AI fundamentals that Ching Yu teaches on how to use AI in your content, your posts, your images, your video, all kinds of ways you can use AI. And not only in that, but using AI in making smart business decisions as you grow and scale your business. So make sure you signed up for that also. And this weekend, if you're into trading, in the stock market and want to learn how to use those candles, is what I learned when I first heard Justin Chu talk about the stock market and reading the waves. We have a training that's coming up this Saturday. It's going to be Friday for us that are here in the US. So go to GrooveAsia, it's right there on your screen. Right here on your screen, grooveasia.cm/resources. Click on the calendar, which is the top of the page, and register. Register for those trainings. They are free for now. They are free for now, and we can't wait to see you there at that time. So once again, we'll see you here tomorrow, same time, same channel, as we dig a little deeper into GroovePages. And bye-bye.
Hi, this is Simon Liang with GrooveAsia.cm. Are you already a part of the #1 community in the world? If not, do so right now for free training and support, along with live sessions to help you succeed. Start now by joining us in our private Facebook group and get more exclusive video content on our YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe with notifications turned on for all updates. Join our community right now. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you on the inside at GrooveAsia.cm.